From the news desk at the Katanning Paper, it's time for news on WTYM 1380 AM Katanning.
A Rayburn Township man died during an apartment complex fire last night in Rayburn Township. The fire began on the bottom floor in Building A of the Rayburn Manor apartments along State Route 85 about 9:30 p.m. and evacuated most of the building, except for Howard Lewis Hopper, who was found on the floor inside his bedroom apartment by firefighters. Coroner Brian Myers pronounced Hopper dead on scene due to accidental smoke inhalation.
The firemen got him out. They tried to work him, and he passed away before they could even go to the hospital.
Myers said a toxicology will be performed due to the smoke in conjunction with the state police fire marshals, Pennsylvania State Police troopers, and the fire department. Rayburn Township Assistant Fire Chief Tom Ortman first called for an imaging camera from his fellow volunteers about 9:45 p.m. to try and locate the entrapped male. Katanning's 6 ambulance medics also stood by outside the entrance to the 8 apartments. He said a full investigation will be conducted to determine what caused the fire.
As far as we can tell right now, it's still speculation. It looks like something started on the stove. This contains the kitchen area. Supposedly the kitchen area was burned. There was smoke and water.
Hopper's next-door neighbor, Virginia DeMaria, pulled the fire alarm to warn everybody. She said fellow residents called Hopper Lou affectionately.
I was getting ready to lay down. I was laying on the couch and my dog kept barking at the kitchen, and I went in to see what he was barking at, and I saw smoke coming through my electrical outlet and through the vent in the stove. And so I ran out and I pulled the fire alarm, and then I went in and got my dog, and then I tried getting everybody out of the building. I thought it was coming from the upstairs apartment, so I kicked in the door so we could use the fire extinguisher. It wasn't from up there, and then we came down, and Lou wasn't answering the door.
Other than those that lived in the 4 residences, all tenants in the apartment building were able to re-enter the building for the night. The 4 residences in the center of the building lost electricity. Those tenants were required to stay with other friends or family. DeMaria was one of those residents not able to stay in her apartment last night. She planned to stay with either her daughter Brittany or son Brandon. Brittany also knew Hopper since she lived in another apartment building across the main parking lot.
He was just a friendly guy. He talked to everybody. He loved everybody. He loved my kids. Every time he saw my kids, he'd give a popsicle.
Rebecca Toy lived on the top floor above Hopper and talked with him about 5 p.m. yesterday. She heard the fire alarm from the next building and saw DeMaria and other neighbors evacuate the apartment complex. Toy was checking with her other neighbors to see that everybody was okay when she got the news about Hopper. Katanning Township Assistant Chief Greg Baker and Lieutenant Brett Moore said they found Hopper lying on the floor by the door of his apartment. About 6 firefighters helped pull him from the apartment. It was Lieutenant Moore's first fire call with a fatality. Myers' office was contacted about 10:20 p.m. Firefighters tried to clear the smoke via a portable fan and opening sporadic apartment windows. Assistant Chief Ortman said the fire was pretty well extinguished once they arrived on scene about 9:43 p.m. 3 EMS crews from Katanning's 6 ambulance were initially dispatched in fear of 2 victims being entrapped. In all, volunteer firefighters from more than a half-dozen companies assisted at the scene, either inside or outside. Other than Rayburn Township and Katanning Township, the first 2 on scene, those included Pine Templeton, Rural Valley, Katanning Hose Company 4 and 6, and Manor Township. The Armstrong County host team was also called in to assist, and South Buffalo firefighters were standing by in Katanning if needed. Ford City Ambulance medical responders were also contacted due to asthma concerns. Pine Township was the first company to leave the scene at 10:45 p.m., and at about the same time, Manor Township firefighters left to stand by at Rayburn Township Fire Hall. State Police Fire Marshal Trooper John Corna of the Katanning Barracks and Trooper Youngling of the Newcastle Barracks will investigate the fire. Traffic on Route 85 near the Armsdale Administration Building next door was detoured due to the fire investigation last night. At the Katanning Paper News Desk for WTYM, I'm Becky Everson. Listen to WTYM on the hour for local news as it breaks throughout the day.